I would like to call to order the regular governing board meeting of the Jefferson Elementary School District, February 26, 2014. It is 7:04 p.m. Could we have members present, please?
Joseph Otaidi.
Here.
Marie Brizuela.
Here.
Shaquille Ali.
Here.
Joseph Waters.
Present.
Rebecca Douglas.
Here. Okay, and we have some students from MP Brown to lead us in our pledge tonight. Right here.
Please stand. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Mr. Woodhouse, are the children going to be participating in the presentation as well? No. No. Okay. Well, we have some thank yous to you for your wonderful job leading our pledge. Ms. Brizuela, would you like to take one down?
That's it.
We'll see if either of my Josephs is ready when the time comes.
Oh, sorry.
Well, Ms. Brizuela.
Participating in the flag ceremony, Veronica Marie Alvarado.
Read the last name.
Just realized I heard that.
And this is for Angelica.
You know what? Mother's proud that I did. I know them, okay? But I won't for anybody
That
that's
one
that I
for
know.
Audrey.
All right. Thank you very much, kids. That was very well done. Okay. Could we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to item number 1, a public hearing on the proposed adoption of developer fee study and the increase of the statutory school facilities fee. I have no speaker cards for that.
I believe we need to formally open the public hearing.
Oh, good point.
And then if there are no speaker cards, then we may close it.
And-
Okay.
And note the timing.
Yes, okay, we will open that public hearing at 7:07 p.m. I guess I'm supposed to look at the one over here, but I can't see it. And I have no speaker cards or requests to speak.
Please, no pushing, no pushing.
I have one question. Is this a routine matter that all districts are going through right now?
Every 2 years, the districts have the option to increase their developer fees. And we just got the new rates at the end of January. So, yes.
All right.
Okay. And as I have no further speaker requests, we will close the public hearing at 7:08 p.m. Okay, that brings us to our communications. Want to remind our people that we are working on I guess that's for the board members, a 2-minute limit, focus on the schools and their accomplishments, as we've discussed at our governance session. But let's begin with administrator comments. Ms. McCulloch,
I
you
can
look ready.
start, yes. So just an update on the LCAP, the Local Control Accountability Plan. We've had some meetings, and school sites are actually having meetings at their schools with staff and parents this month and next month. And we had a Parent Involvement Advisory Committee meeting to share information about the LCAP and solicit input. And we are, I'm gathering all that information, and then we'll be providing more information as we receive input from from all the school sites.
Great, thank you.
I'll pass.
Ms. Hawkins?
I'll also pass.
Okay, that brings us to the board member acknowledgements and commendations. Mr. Otaide.
Back to my original thing I said earlier this year. Always want to remind people to vote or register to vote, and also not only
Mr.
for now, but also for the future when you go forward into funding your kids for state and UC systems. That is also important why it is important to vote.
Well, we haven't had a meeting for a while, so luckily we had some time off. But I did attend the PIAC meeting, and things are going smoothly. And PTA Council had a very nice dinner, and had quite a few people attending, which was very good. And I won't go into details because we don't have a lot of time, but would like to ask that the meeting this evening be adjourned in memory of Edward DiNatale. He was a student in our district and grew up here. He's had since moved away, but his parents live in Daly City, and his father, Paul, was a fireman until he retired several years ago. And it's a wonderful family, and we feel a great loss. That's the second child they've lost now. They've had 11, so it's a close family. My time up?
No, I wanted you to pass me that so I can make sure I get his name.
Okay, when I'm finished, it was sort of interrupting me, Mrs.
I thought you'd paused there, and I was just going to pass it over.
I've completely lost my train of thought. You may have the paper, but sorry. I'll pass.
Mr. Ali?
Just want to acknowledge and commend everyone for coming out in the cold and moist weather tonight. And that's it.
I just want to second what Mr. Ali said.
Okay. I want to acknowledge that last night, the Jefferson Union High School District selected a new trustee, and that trustee is Rosie Tejada,
Oh, is
who
that right?
is a longstanding and very productive member of our own community. She's currently a member of the Westmore PTA, serves as the Fight Back Chair on the Relay for Life for Daly City, was chair of our recent successful bond measure, the Measure I, general obligation bond, and they will be seating her at the March 4th meeting of the Jefferson Union High School District trustees. So big congratulations to Ms. Tejada for her new position.
Since I was interrupted, may I continue with?
You certainly may.
I just wanted to, for those of you that may not know, we have an announcement that Tony Zidich, our city treasurer for many, many, many years, is retiring, and there'll be a celebration for him on the 5th of March at City Hall.
Okay, and persons wishing to address the board, I have a speaker card from Ms. Melinda Dart.
Hi, good evening, Melinda Dart, AFT 3267. Just want to remind everyone that there are two events coming up that we want to make sure that everyone knows about and that everyone out there attends. The first one is March 1st, this coming Saturday at Woodrow Wilson. It is a event to have your taxes done for free from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you need to bring your documents from last year. And if you wish to, you can make an appointment ahead of time. Perhaps I'll read that number off just in case. It's 1-866-577-1231. That's 1-866-577-1231. And reserve a spot to have your taxes taken care of for the year. On March 8th, also at Woodrow Wilson, from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., is a wonderful upcoming conference called Reclaiming the Promise of Quality Public Education. It's geared towards helping parents understand the new Common Core state standards. The conferences will be offered in Spanish. There will be Arabic translators. There are a lot of books being given away at this event for children, free books. There's a chance to win an Apple iPad and some other prizes. If you're interested in this event, please let Melinda Dart, me, know at TRP through the district at Palisada Middle School. And also, if you don't get a chance to RSVP, you can just attend that event. But we would like to be prepared for how many people are coming. And it's going to be a great day. We really recommend that everyone come. We have a lot of volunteers from the school board and from the community and from the PTA and from the district that are all helping. So we hope to see everybody there. Woodrow Wilson, March 8th. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Dart. Mr. Vidales, do we have superintendent comments or correspondence?
Yes, we do. First off, I did receive earlier this month communication from the San Mateo County Office of Education, as we do every time we submit our budgets or interim reports. And I just want to pull out a couple of comments based on the letter that we received back. First off is a statement that based on the information known at the time of the report, the county superintendent concurs with the district's positive certification. So that is always a good thing to hear. And in the last couple of years, it was a very good thing to hear as counties superintendents across the state needed to not provide a positive certification to many districts. So we maintain our positive certification. In this case, being positively certified is a good thing. Other times, maybe not so much. Cash flow statement, I know that that's important to the board and members of the board. The statement around that says that the district's cash flow projections indicate positive cash balances for all months throughout the 2013-14 and the 2014-15 fiscal years.
That's good.
And that is a requirement now that we need to provide a 24-month projection of our cash balances. And so that is, that's reviewed by the county every time we submit our budgets and our interim reports as well. Again, many districts are not able to accomplish that. And lastly, just sort of a comment on the upcoming budget adoption and some things for us to take into consideration. And I know that Ms. Kessler will be incorporating these as information becomes available but for the board's information. The comment is that the governor's revenue outlook is encouraging. However, there's a need for districts to be mindful of additional financial burdens that local education agencies may incur in the future, such as the potential increase in employer costs to address CalSTR's unfunded liability, the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, implementation of the Common Core state standards, and a potential increase in the CalPERS employer contribution. School districts may also have their own local needs that have not been addressed in the past due to tight budget situations, such as facility improvements and/or deferred maintenance. It is continually important for districts to maintain higher reserves to provide districts fiscal stability and flexibility to cope with future decline in funding or other unforeseen events. So those were the main points of the report, and if you'd like to see the full report, please let me know. I can get you a copy of that. Also, I did receive a letter from Ms. Melinda Dart and site representatives from AFT. As you know, and Ms. McCulick mentioned, stakeholder meetings are being held across the district to solicit input and suggestions for consideration into the LCAP. Members of the AFT 3267, particularly the school site representatives, also held their own meeting and provided input on items of interest to their members. Many of the items provided to me have already been solicited from other stakeholder groups and have garnered a consensus of support across the district stakeholder groups. Items like increasing support for needing students, maintaining clean and well-maintained facilities, and improving library services. So these suggestions will be considered along with the other suggestions as part of the prioritization and the feasibility process which we are now entering into. So thank you, Ms. Dart. Thank you, AFT 3267. And we look forward to continuing in conversation. And, oh yes, one more thing is, if we wouldn't mind closing the meeting tonight in honor and memory of Matt Toman. He's a long time, yes, he's a long time district employee, I believe, 25-year head custodian. So,
And before that.
yeah, so anyway, So if we can do that, that'd be great.
Yes. Okay, brings us to Section 1, General Functions. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we need a voice vote, roll call vote for that, please, Ms. Hilveray.
Mr. Otidy,
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela,
Aye.
Mr. Ali,
Aye.
Mr. Waters,
Aye.
Dr. Douglas.
Aye.
We're going to take recess or anything. I wanted to know if we could move up item 3, 4. Let's try over here. 3, 4.
Section 3, number 4. And you wanted to move it up where?
Now, so because that's why it's not doing so hot at home.
Okay. Can you make a motion to that effect?
We have to make a motion.
Rearrange the agenda that we already approved?
Just ask the board if it's all
Or
right.
could we, yeah, okay. If we have the consent of the board, we'd like to, had a request to move the Section 3 Business and Financial Procedures, number 4, the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee report up to this time. If nobody has any objections, I would like to make that alteration if Mr. Jones was ready back there.
Good evening. I'm Vaughn Jones, the Chair of the Bond Committee. You have our report for the year before you. Based on our review and observations, the committee has found that the district is in compliance with all state constitution requirements, and we are pleased with the district's performance on the modernization bond program to date, and we look forward to the successful completion of your 2013 projects. I'm available for any questions that you might have.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Jones? Well, I want to thank you and the committee for your work, and appreciate that a great deal.
We are very pleased that a member of our committee, Rosie Tejeda, has just been appointed to the high school board, and we hope she'll continue to work with us on the bond committee. Don't want to lose
So do
her.
we.
Well,
She is
she
in
will.
charge of the minutes. Let's hope so.
It's not a conflict of interest. I just wanted to put in a few words and say thank you, Vaughn, for taking over leadership again and for being on the Bond Oversight Committee. He's spent many, many times on other committees and the other bond groups, of just being there to give his time. Thank you. Okay? Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for your hard work.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, then we will return to our,
Well, can we get a few minutes? Have a break for a
you-
couple minutes?
you would like a
3 minutes?
3-minute recess.
Yeah.
We have a motion to take a 3-minute recess.
Oh, you want to, yeah.
Second.
I'll second. Oh,
Those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Bernie.
If we can resume. Brings us to section 1, item number 4, the reorganization of the district subcommittees. We collected the requests made by the various members of this board and did our best to accommodate those requests, especially in the order in which they were received. So there is the proposed set of subcommittee assignments in the agenda. Is there a discussion of this item?
Yeah, I just wanted to voice my opinion on something. It's been quite some time now that I have been overlooked for positions that I have asked for, even when I had couple of times said it. There was only one committee I was interested in. Again, this year I kind of made it clear, mentioned that I would really like to serve on the subcommittee with the City of Daly City. And I feel that I have the experience and the knowledge and the rapport to be working with the city. And I did have an opportunity to work with them and help get the Junior Giants playfield for us. I worked on, when we were working together with the Town of Colma and City of Daly City, to put together funds that made possible to build the gymnasiums. And that was a lot of paperwork and a lot of meetings that we had to do. There has not been meetings, even with the high school district, and it.
Is this important to talk about right now?
Well, we're going to vote on it.
About us not having meetings?
No.
That's the question.
Yes, it's what. Am I supposed to be interrupted, or do I get finished? I'm sorry.
Okay, it's a legitimate question if you want to.
Okay, it's a legitimate question. The thing is, we need to have committee structure that is.
Can we talk about that another time?
It's part of the reason why I'd like to see myself on the committee, but anyway, okay. So I'm asking that the board consider, because it says the administration recommends, that I be considered to serve on the committee with the City of Daly City, so we can get some good work done. And I think some of the members of the council are looking forward to that I might be on that committee, as well as the city manager. So I ask that you consider, if we're voting, that you consider putting me there, and it would be a nice mix of having someone who has been on the committee once before to also work along with someone who hasn't been on, so we can work together and be a good team. So I'd like to just say that.
Does anybody else have any suggestions or any motions?
Negative.
Well, I'll make a motion then that we approve the subcommittees, and that it's for this City of Daly City, that we put Marie Brizuela. And
It's not what's on the paper.
It doesn't mean that. You said you
All
can
right,
make any
well-
motion you want. And I'd like to see Rebecca Douglas stay on, since she's president of the board, and she hasn't served before. And for the Jefferson High School District, I don't want to put people on the committee, but if I'm vacating that spot, then perhaps Shaquille could serve there, since he has a great interest with the students. And Joseph Otidy.
Without alone.
And then board policies, leave it like it is. If wellness wants to continue that way, Joseph, sounds like he fits that real well. And parent involvement committee, I don't want to say I'll put myself there. If anybody else wants to do that position, if not, I would be happy to stay in it.
So do we need a study session on the purpose of these committees and the functions of the committees? Because it sounds like you're doing work right now.
I'm not working. I'm making a motion.
This was already, we were asked to give our preferences through email,
Have a second.
and the president and the superintendent came with the recommendation.
Oh, I was told it was administration only.
So, so there's a motion on the table. So we could respond, if there's a second.
Is
can
I
we
don't
vote it on?
understand the motion. It was a long motion.
Okay, I'll
So I can-
repeat the motion.
I can clarify. The motion is to substitute Mr. Ali and Ms. Brizuela's participation on the first two subcommittees, to switch them.
I'm not interested in anything that my name wasn't on already.
Okay. All right, so we do have a motion on the table, and we don't have a second yet.
No second.
I do not hear a second. Is there any other motion with regard to the district?
So if there's no second.
Would you
then the
note
mo-
in the minutes that
motion-
it died for a second?
Yes,
Yeah.
Lack of a
died for
second.
lack of a second.
It's still in action.
Can we get a brief clarification of this so that people in the audience and at home who may be watching aren't confused?
Okay, so in the month of January, I sent out a request to board members to let me know committee interests. Obviously, every board member may not serve on one committee. We did get quite a few board members interested in the City of Daly City, Colma. We had 4 out of the 5 express interest. Dr. Douglas and I met and we discussed. We looked at the order in which they came in, and we decided to utilize first in at this time. And the other committees, we placed where we thought would fit. I know I had a conversation with Mr. Waters. We discussed Wellness Committee. He was very interested in that. So that was a process. That's how this slate is being presented. And the board always has an option and an opportunity to select their own representatives for these subcommittees. And there was a motion made to that, and it was not seconded. So that means that it cannot be voted on. So now we await another motion.
Very clearly put. Thank you, Mr. Vidales.
Thanks.
And do I have any other motions? Feeling that, I would like to make a motion that we accept the subcommittee assignments as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Can I have a voice roll call, please? I'm not sure we have 3.
I don't think we do. Yeah, good roll call.
Mr. Otidy?
I abstain.
Mrs. Brizuela?
I'm going to vote no because it's not the entire motion that I had anticipated.
Mr. Ali?
No.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Dr. Douglas?
Yes. Okay, so we do not have a majority on that.
Well, we can bring it back at the next board meeting for discussion on the topic, and we can have, I'll speak to Dr. Douglas the best way to approach this.
Just to
Could
clarify,
the-
they're not yet, these committees are not set yet. So just to clarify, is that correct?
Right.
The committees that are here are the ones that are in board policy and that are in board bylaws, yes.
But
So-
these
no,
committees,
no,
these
they have not been
subcommittees.
assigned. They have not
Okay,
been
they're not assigned yet.
They're not assigned.
Okay, just making.
Yeah, yeah. We have not made any decision. We did not have a majority for any particular set of assignments to the district subcommittees. I will therefore make the motion that we table this until the next meeting for further discussion.
I don't think it's necessary to
Well,
table, it's just dead.
Well, yeah,
Right
okay.
now.
Okay.
Are
We can
these,
just put on
do
next
we have to
agenda.
have these committees?
The committees that,
We're getting now.
the committees that are actually
We want to
are
see
in
this.
board policy or board bylaws are a wellness committee, and that suggests 1 board member representative, and we have the PIAC committee, which suggests 1 board member representative. City of Daly City, Colma, it is not in board policy or bylaws, but it is a practice to have, local education agencies to have 2 members represent them if there should ever need to be a meeting with another district or city agency. And they select 2 members as well to be available for that.
Mhm. And these are ad hoc committees, correct, that are,
Not ad hoc.
Oh.
They're just, the members on these committees serve as representatives of the board. In the past, we have had advisory committees, and we have had ad hoc committees. The advisory committees, I think, if you remember, and for Mr. Waters' information, Mr. Fox suggested that board representation on advisory committees not necessarily be done by board selection, but that there are many ways for the board to give advice to the superintendent and staff, and that we utilize those formats, and it's not necessary or even not advisable, not that it's not advisable, but it is the flexibility to be able to discuss the kinds of things you might want to discuss in an advisory capacity. It doesn't exist when you have board appointments.
So then these are, that we were discussing, are board committees, not district subcommittees?
These
then?
ones are board committees.
Because it says district subcommittees on here, and that's why I said no. If it's gonna be a board committee, then we have to, as a board, agree to something.
So we'll come back, we'll bring it back.
All right.
That's a valid point. Those are, in fact, the board subcommittees.
We've always called it a subcommittee, you know, because it's like two people
Right.
from us and two people
Yeah,
from
but there's a
them.
difference between if it's a board or a
Correct,
district
there's,
committee.
yeah, there's a
If it's a
difference.
district committee, it's Bernie's committee and it's ad hoc, and we don't have to
Or
meet.
advisory, yeah.
If it's, if it's our committee, then we can talk about the issue of scheduling regular meetings and whatnot, so.
Okay, yeah.
That's the issue there, is that they are board subcommittees. Okay, well, we will return to that item then at a future meeting. Brings us to item 5, board member participation in CSBA Masters in Governance sessions. And this is a recommendation that I believe that we approve adequate funding to allow board members to.
Well, yeah, I looked at the budget earlier this morning. We have about $1,000 remaining for board professional development, and that's excluding any costs that we think we might incur either with attendance at Kent Awards or any county school board association meetings. And the Masters in Governance schedule was provided to you in your backup. There is a Masters in Governance session in 2 weeks. Each session, I think, costs $250, and I think you have to do session 1 before you can do any other session. So this is an opportunity for the board to express interest in attending and us to vote to send that board member.
I would like to say that I have attended that first session with the Masters in Governance, and I highly recommend it to new board members. And if,
I'm interested. I've never been to the.
Very interesting.
so we have 2 board members expressing an interest. Do
I
you
have a
have,
question too. Is this limited only to the CSBA governance training? Because there's some other educational associations that we may be interested in attending their conferences as well. There's actually one that came up when we were in San Diego, another group that
What
we were
was it?
referred to. I think it was Association for Urban School Districts or something like that.
Yeah.
So it does include other.
Yeah, it does include other organizations. So if there's ever an interest, and the way that we've done this in the past has been the board allocates a certain amount for the year.
Right.
And then, just like we did for CSBA and for other conferences, the board decides together who gets to go. Anybody can go to County School Board Association, that's not a board action, but the other ones, the board has made the determination.
All right, that's great.
So if there's an interest, please let me know, and I would be happy to.
So it's the Masters in Board Mission one?
Masters in
Yeah.
Governance, yes.
You say $250?
There's one coming up in
yeah, and it's,
Burlingame.
because it's coming up in 2 weeks,
Soon.
if Mr. Waters and or Mr. Otidy would like to attend, we need to approve that, so that, I understand it, so that they have permission to spend that money.
What are the dates? Can I get the dates on that again?
Yeah, I was just double checking here.
Friday and Saturday, March 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
The
In Burlingame, Hilton,
Burlingame.
San Francisco
it's
Airport
the-
Bayfront.
So that's real close.
Yes, there's no need
No
for an
overnight.
overnight there. As much as we would like.
Sleep in the car.
Yeah.
With lavish accommodations at the Ritz-Carlton, San Francisco.
No.
Private
Fremont?
and private
Okay,
limo
so
transport.
the key element is that the course 1, which does have to be taken first, the foundations and setting direction, is being held on Friday, March 7th. I believe those are now half-day classes, and since that's listed first, I assume that means that it's for the first half of the day. Well,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the timing for that is, but it is just on that Friday.
right. So if you would like to attend and you can attend, we'll assume, just in case I'm wrong about the half-day, it just says course times 8:30 to 4:30, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So if that is doable, that's good for Mr. Waters. Are
So-
you still interested, Mr.?
Did you look at what the titles of all the other ones are as far as the subject matter that you would prefer? Because I know you like finance.
Right, but the key thing is that for the Masters in Governance classes, you have to take course one before you can
Yeah.
take any of the others. So, yeah, he could want to
take
take
another one the
another
next
one
day.
as well
So-
the next day, but not instead of course one.
That's what I mean, and like if you took course one, that's the first day, and then, but then you jump to course four, you might want to take the school finances. I'm just saying, just in case you wanted to, then
Right.
you have that option. So I know you like finance. We like it when you tell us.
Right. Yeah, that would be a question, whether either of you wishes to take more than one course in those 2 days.
So I don't believe Mr. Otaide has, and I know Mr. Waters has not taken course one, so that's the option for Friday. So the Saturday option is student learning and policy, school finance, and then the other one, you need to have taken all 4 courses before.
Right.
So, Mr. Waters, do you have an interest in
Oh, I see.
another
You
one
can take
on
it
Saturday?
Over here.
Do you have an interest on attending a session on Saturday as well?
I was
Okay,
thinking you
all
would
right.
Like to
You can-
see, I've got the
Okay, I know you like finance.
description up down here at the bottom of the page.
So that,
That's what I'm telling you.
and Mr. Otaide, are you available to take something on Saturday as well as Friday, or? Are you interested in taking a course on Saturday as well as on Friday?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, well, I will connect then with Mr. Waters, Mr. Otaide, and find out what those course titles would be. So for sure, we know course one, and if by the end of the night you let me know what second course you'd
Yeah.
like to take,
I
that
will
would be
point
great.
out that since these are $250 per course, if each of them takes 2 courses, that will use up the remaining $1,000, just.
It will use it up, but like we have in the past, we've come back
Back for more.
for more.
If somebody else
So
needs
we set
educating.
aside a budget that says this is what we think we'll use, and oftentimes, especially the years where the travel is to San Diego, we do need
It's
to exceed that.
difficult, yeah, we used up a lot of it.
I
So,
just want to make a comment that, we value professional development for our teachers and staff and also for ourselves. So this is important, just in case people are wondering why we're spending so much time on this right now.
right,
No, and it is important to do this in public for that reason, just to
Yes.
provide information
Yeah.
to the public that professional development is important for all of us.
so, at this point, I'm
Make
not
a
entirely sure
motion.
if we need to actually approve as a board the expenditure, or.
You don't need to
We
approve
will
the
decide.
expenditure, but you can approve that you're going to send
approve
Mr.
it.
Waters and
Send
Mr.
them, so-
Otaide.
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion till we move this along.
Thank
I make a motion that we allow Joseph Otaide and Joseph Waters to attend the 2 sessions on Friday, March 7th, and Saturday, March 8th, in Burlingame for the Master in Government's program.
Second.
Great, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Good
opposition?
job.
Great. Learn lots, you guys will be expected to give a report when you get back. And that's, yeah, you will. That sounds like the sort of thing I tell the children at the library sometimes, but I mean it this time.
I will be prepared with a comprehensive finance section
I-
on the.
A video.
Oh, I
Too
know you will,
comprehensive.
I know you will.
Okay, great, thank you. So that brings us to item 6, the CSBA delegate selection. And we have the option of selecting up to 3 candidates to be considered delegates to the CSBA Delegate Assembly.
Okay, so where am I?
Let's see.
There is in our backup material, we do have a
You have a
list.
copy of a ballot, There are 6 individuals who would like to be considered. I will read you the names and the district, and we do have the option also, if you wanted to take some time to read the backup material. Each candidate has prepared a resume as well as some information. You've probably read them. We have one more meeting where this needs to be decided. So we have from the Belmont Redwood Shores Elementary School District, we have Suvrana Bopali. From the Hillsborough City School District, we have Gregory Danis. From the San Mateo Union High School District, we have Mark Friedman. From Redwood City Elementary School District, we have Alyssa McAvoy. From Jefferson Union High School District, we have Kalima Salahuddin. And from the Sequoia Union High School District, we have Alan Sarver.
I don't know any of the other candidates, but interactions with Kalima Salahuddin in the Jefferson Union, I think she is a great she represents the district finally, and I believe that she would be basically a great candidate.
But I would say same thing. I'd like to make sure we include her. I do know Alyssa McAvoy, and she's also a very experienced and talented person and good hard worker, and Mark Friedman as well. So I do know what they have done, so.
I can also vouch for Kalima Salahuddin.
And I particularly appreciate that she is running because this is traditionally very thin. Everything is very thin on representation from North County. And I
You know, it
appreciate
never
that she's
used to
willing
be.
To do that.
And they have it so that you can be on there, the delegate assembly, in your group. But for some reason, we're not producing them over here. But I would like to see us have more representation as well. But we do have, some of them are still on the sub-region for B. They're already, like San Bruno is considered close to us
Right.
too, so.
Yeah.
So I'll
So-
make a motion.
Do people feel ready to make a selection, make our vote on this tonight?
Only person I know
everybody
is
had a
Ms.
chance to-
Salahuddin. I haven't.
Beyond that, you have no, right?
Okay.
Has everybody had a chance to look at the material?
Yes.
So, no
So-
one wants to make the motion. I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion
You're
that,
welcome to make the motion.
that we, I guess we're electing, it's all right. We're casting the ballot for Mark Friedman at San Mateo Union, Alyssa McAvoy, Redwood City, and Kalima Salahuddin. I got a little mark in front of the last 2 letters, so
Yeah, it kind of
Okay.
ran over.
I got to remember how to say that perfectly. From
practiced.
Jefferson Union High School District, to be as the delegates, the delegate assembly for CSBA.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And you realize this is only equals 1 vote.
Right.
It's-
Our board
because
is a
it's-
vote.
The board is a vote, yeah.
A unified vote.
Yes,
Yeah.
so this does not mean that they get to do it necessarily.
Well,
We
we
are
hope
but
they,
one vote among the many.
we hope they will. We hope